Welcome to Commvault, the corporation vault for enterprise data protection. Imagine your entire data center is encrypted by ransomware, servers locked, backups deleted, business down. Now here's the question. What if your backups are still 100% safe, and hackers can't even see them? That's exactly what Air Gap Protect does in Commvault. Air Gap Protect in Commvault is a comprehensive solution, designed to secure backup data, by isolating it from production environments, and potential cyber threats. In this video, I'll break down how Air Gap actually works, real-world attack scenarios, and how you can design a ransomware-proof backup strategy. What is Air Gap Protect? Air Gap Protect is not just storage. It's a security strategy. Think of it like a vault that only opens for a few minutes a day and stays completely invisible the rest of the time. To define, AGP is a fully managed, cloud-based storage target that creates a logical separation, which is air gap, between backup data and production systems. This isolation prevents unauthorized access, ransomware, or malicious actors from reaching backup copies, even if the production environment is compromised. How Air Gap actually works? Let's simplify this with a real example. A bank runs backups of its critical databases nightly to Air Gap Protect storage at 2 a.m. At exactly 2 a.m. the vault opens, backups go in. At 3 a.m. it shuts completely. So the AGP container is only accessible during the backup window. At all other times, the container is isolated, so even if ransomware infects the production network, it cannot reach or encrypt the backup data. The mechanism is AGP uses time-based containers and network isolation to ensure that backup data is only accessible during specific windows, for example, for backup or restore operations. Outside these windows, the storage is logically disconnected. Air Gap scheduling. Air Gap is controlled using time-based access windows. You can automate when the air gap is enabled or disabled, using built-in scheduling tools or workflows. Let's discuss with an example. A hospital schedules air gap intervals, so that backup jobs run between 1 and 3 a.m. The rest of the day, the backup storage is isolated, reducing the risk of accidental or malicious data access. Network security. Most attacks happen over the network. So Commvault removes that risk entirely, by not using public internet, and using private connections like Azure ExpressRoute, Azure PrivateLink, or AWS PrivateLink. A scenario to highlight would be, a government agency uses Azure PrivateLink to connect its on-premises data center to AGP storage in Azure. This ensures that sensitive backups never traverse the public internet. Redundancy and durability. What if an entire data center goes down? For the same reason, Air Gap Protect stores data across multiple zones, or regions, for redundancy. These are a few redundancy models to highlight, and a good example for this scenario would be, a multinational company stores backups in AGP with geo-redundant storage. Even if one data center fails, data remains available from another zone. Retention and compliance. This is where most admins make mistakes. Retention is not just storage, it's legal protection. Depending upon how soon the data is accessed, like frequent, infrequent, or rarely accessed, you can define the retention tiers. For compliance, you can use compliance lock, so backed up data cannot be deleted, not even by admin. An example would be, a legal firm uses AGP with a 7-year retention policy for client records. Compliance lock ensures these records cannot be deleted, not even by administrators. Space management and capacity planning. If your storage is full, backups stop. Simple as that. So always monitor growth reports, fragmentation, usage trends, etc. For example, a university monitors AGP usage and forecasts that it will need an additional 10 terabytes in 6 months. It proactively purchases more capacity to avoid backup failures. Troubleshooting and best practices. Let's talk about real issues you will face. License distribution. The capacity is pooled and distributed, not assigned per library. Network misconfiguration can prevent media agents from connecting to AGP storage. Storage not freeing up, and space reclamation, which is only available when fragmentation exceeds 30%. Let's take a real scenario. A retailer finds that deleted jobs do not immediately free up space. After checking, they see fragmentation is below 30%, so space reclamation cannot run yet. They adjust retention, and monitor fragmentation until reclamation is possible. Let's discuss some best practices. Regularly review retention policies. Monitor storage usage and fragmentation. Test air gap schedules and network connectivity. Here is one real ransomware attack scenario, which can be used as a use case. A manufacturing company is hit by ransomware that encrypts all production data. Attackers demand ransom. Because AGP storage is air-gapped and immutable, backup copies remain untouched. The company restores clean data from AGP and resumes operations with minimal downtime. They restored everything and paid nothing. Let's discuss limitations of air gap. No solution is perfect. Here's what you should know. Commvault migration is not supported with AGP. Private endpoint support is not available for OCI. Space reclamation only runs when fragmentation is greater than 30%. If you're working with Commvault, or planning a secure backup strategy, this is not optional anymore. Air gap is becoming the standard for ransomware protection. We will end this video here. If you found this useful, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for real-world enterprise backup content. Thank you. Do subscribe for more videos.